It's been a pretty historic summer for the film industry. We've seen 4 movies costing well over $100 million bomb at the box office in a short 4-month period. Here at HuffPost Live, we've discussed the summer of the bomb on numerous occasions, from the movies themselves to the succession in which they were released to the audience fatigue they induced. But what about the season itself? Summer. Everyone expects it to be the most profitable time for the blockbuster, but as years have gone by, it's become an increasingly competitive release time. Should Hollywood reevaluate summer and what it means for their bottom line? This trend started with Jaws nearly 40 years ago. It cost $7 million to make and ended up earning $471 million at the box office worldwide. Star Wars followed with incredibly successful summer release. It's almost a coincidence, though, that we're now basing a large part of Hollywood's economy on these facts, these 2 movies being released 2 years apart. Is this smart? Is the summer really that much? How do we know that the summer makes sense to release these movies then?
I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I think that we release movies in the summer because the largest majority... Can you hear me?
Yeah, just fine.
Okay, great, because it says you muted my mic, and because I was typing.
No,
It's not a coincidence at all. It was designed that way because it's the largest period of time where the largest amount of people are available to go to the movies every night. And that's because kids are out of school and they need to do something either alone or with their parents at night. Or with one another, if they're of the age to go to the movies with one another. And this is true not only in America and North America, but also all over the world, which is increasingly important. And this has been true not just through the new abnormal, as I call it, but for all the years that I've been in the business. I have statistics here we can discuss later about the fact that basically the summer has doubled the box office business of any other slot for over 40 years.
We had Hunger Games released in March when it was released, and that made a ton of money. Granted, it was based off of a successful young adult book that it was a given almost that it was going to make money, but maybe not as much as it did. But that was released in March. Now, if that had been released over the summer and gone up against Iron Man 3 or Star Trek Into Darkness or even After Earth, I'm sure it would have landed number 3 in that slot at the very least. But would it have done as well?
Well, I think that they made a very smart choice in opening an original first iteration of a franchise when it had a free, open reign, not against sequels and not against reboots that have much more prior awareness. It gave them the time to build their marketing campaign in a void and not be competing with movies that have so much marketing money, all those campaigns coming out in the exact same incredibly noisy period.
I think there's an audience to chase in the summer. I think if you get a prime date in the summer, you're excited about that. And these big corporations, the movie studio corporations start firing on all cylinders. There's a lot of weight that's brought on it, both in manpower and dollars. So you're going to get all of the divisions and the marketing and the international. But they're in the movie studios are here to win. So they're here to make their money back. They're here, they're selling a product. So if they move a movie, there's very few cases where they move a movie and say, okay, never mind, unless it's above a very low budget. Mm-hmm. So usually your agendas are the same. The creator's agenda may be more creative, maybe more artistic. I want to make a good movie. I want people to come see this movie because they like it, because they like the story. But that's the same agenda as getting a lot of people to come to see it. So they line up. Movies are very alchemical, as all of us who've made them. And sometimes you go in, everybody goes in with the best intentions. You don't quite know what's going to happen. And sometimes they don't come out as well as you had hoped. And then you deal with it. I think the era of the big the blockbuster tentpole, outside success movie is here to stay. That's not going anywhere. Look at the number of theaters in the world. Look at the international marketplaces we've talked about. But the audience will find good movies, and they'll find good movies that'll turn into franchises. The first Bourne movie was a character-driven spy movie, and of course there were a lot of Bourne movies, but they were not. Bourne books, but they were obscure. They weren't that well known, and that launched a franchise. That will always exist. People are always hungry for stories. People want to tell stories, and people want to be told stories. So At least that's what I believe in the movie business. So that's
I
not going to go. That's not going to go away.